Hey guys, Shane here for Fugatech 3D Printing. Today I'm going to show you a cheap and effective way to enclose the FolgerTech FT-5. Welcome back guys. Sorry for the angle. This seems to be the best route to kind of get this video done, so I apologize if you don't agree with it, but hey, let's get it rolling. So again, we're going to go ahead and enclose the FolgerTech FT-5. We're going to use something a little bit special today. We're going to use something called foam board. Now foam board is can be very cheap, or can be very expensive as well, but it is a great and cheap, easy way to get a nice enclosure around the FT-5 so that you can do prints like ABS and not have to worry about getting any layer separation due to a draft or something in your house. So let's break down to the boards and show you what they look like. So here's what one of the boards looks like. So I bought a pack of 10 for $25 off Amazon. This is a 20 by 30 inch. It is 3/16 inch thick. So, which is very nice and thick. It's very sturdy for what we need, and again, cheap is the goal here. We're trying to get what the cheapest thing is. You might be able to find plexiglass cheaper than this. If you can, great. I personally cannot. So this is what we're going to be using. Now let's see how we need to get this, what we need to do to install it. Okay, now to get this installed, there's several key areas here in the printer we need to worry about. So there's these 4 upper areas right here. And we're mainly going to worry about the back 3 for now. We're not going to worry about the front at the very beginning, or this front panel here, because we need to be able to see what we're printing. So we're going to have to kind of get a little bit creative with those panels. But for the other panels, it's very straightforward. For the side top here on either the left or right side, and including the back, we're just going to disconnect the 2 corner brackets. We'll take those off. We'll pull out the extrusion, and I've cut a piece of the foam board to fit perfectly in there. So the first areas we're going to work on are these top sections. Again, we're not going to look here at the front or the front this panel. We're going to work on the 3 side top sections first. From the bottom of the top piece of aluminum extrusion to the top of the bottom is 160 millimeters on my printer. Yours might be a little bit different, so please measure to make sure you get the right measurements first before you do any cutting. Always remember this: measure twice, cut once. So my dad always taught me. It's a big saying. Make sure you do that. And inside, so if we put a ruler in there, it measures to be right about 5 millimeters. So that is how deep the slot is in the extrusion, which means we need 170 millimeters. So to give me a little bit of wiggle room, I cut it to 169 millimeters just to be safe, to ensure that it would fit in there properly, and that little bit of millimeter is not going to matter. So next we're going to have to measure along our side here. So from the inside of here to inside of this side measures 502 millimeters. Well, the board we got here is 20 inches wide, which measures to be 507 millimeters roughly, which means that is perfect for the front and back panels. We don't need to worry too much about cutting that. We just need to cut the right height. For the sides, it's 465 millimeters is what you need to cut it for. So how are we going to get these installed? Easy. We're going to pop off this corner bracket and this corner bracket, pull out the extrusion, slide the new one in, reattach those, and you'll be fine. As long as you do these one side at a time, you do not need to worry about messing with your printer at all. It's not going to affect anything. Just make sure that it's square before you start and it's square when you finish. So I'm going to add in these first 2 side panels, and we'll come back and see what it looks like. So if you notice, I kind of forgot here, I have this Bowden tube. I already made the drill for it, so I just took a 1/4 inch drill bit, measured roughly where I want the tube to go through, made my hole, and all I have to do is pass the Bowden tube through, like so. And then this piece will slide down just like so. So that's slid in, pull this through. And now, another thing we kind of forgot here is there's a little bit of an issue down here. So there is the corner piece here that is what holds in the idler bearing for the y-axis. So all we need to do is measure how high over it is, how far it goes over, and how high it is, make a little cut with our X-Acto knife, and it'll fit right in. Now that I have that corner cut, we can go ahead and put this through again. Line this up in the slots, slide it down, and voila, we have it in. So now we just need to grab our aluminum extrusion piece again. I kind of cheated and left the one side on, but you can take it off, it's not a big deal. The side's right on, and there it is, perfectly right aligned again. So all I have to do is put the corner back on, tighten it in. First side is done. Okay, now for this side, for the large panel, it's not as difficult, but you need to get a little bit more careful with your measurements. So once you measure out from the bottom here to just inside the top, because there's another melamine piece right here, you're just going flat to flat. It's a very easy measurement, and you're going from inside the one side of aluminum extrusion to the other. Now, since we can't get the full 5 millimeters on each side, you're better off measuring off about 6 or 7 millimeters, adding it on to side here. So if we look here real quick with the ruler, measure out to be 462 millimeters. And I have my piece here already cut, ready to go, and I measured it out to be this way, 465 millimeters for the sides. So again, it should be really easy. And the next thing you need to measure is where your switch is. So again, just get out a small ruler, which I don't know where mine went. Get out your small ruler, measure where to start, where the plug starts, where the plug ends, below the switch, and above the plug. That's going to give you your square box, and then you'll just need to cut that in here so that your plug can pass through and so you can still hit your on-off switch. Now, in order to get this one in, again, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We're actually going to take off this bottom bracket, and the two corner brackets here, which really you don't have to take off both of them. You can make it work with just taking off the front two corner brackets, this T bracket and this L bracket down here. That's the route I'm going to go, because that's the way I want to do it. And I'm actually going to remove my filament spool holder here as well, just to get that out of the way. I don't want to make sure I don't want to break anything. I'd rather not waste the foam board if I don't have to. So I'm going to take these pieces off, slide it in, and we'll see how it looks. Now, just to check, we get our plug, put it in there, and it fits. I can reach the switch. Perfect. And actually, that looks pretty nice, if I do say so. On to the other side. Okay, here you can see I have my other side here. So the only thing we really have to account for on this side, we don't have any issues down here, none here. Just right here we have the USB cable, which, hope you can still see me. Yeah, you can. Okay, so right here we have the USB cable. So again, we just need to get our sheet, where mine is. Here it is. And we just need to measure. So you get out your handy measuring tool and measure from inside the groove. You have to remember inside the groove to the outside edge, the inside edge, top and bottom from the bottom here, top and bottom of the USB port. Cut that out, and it should line straight up. So again, here we're going to remove the front corner bracket and this front T bracket here. Slide it in. It should line up perfectly. Let's do it. So remember I said measure twice, cut once? Yeah, you should probably do that, because I didn't. I had the dimensions right, but apparently I cut this far too big. It's about half an inch too big on the bottom side, I guess. Not a huge deal. USB still fits in there, no problem. Let's put this panel in and finish up the sides. And whoa, down here you have to watch out for your end stop. So again, we're going to just measure how far over and how far up we need to come, do a little nick out of the corner, and that's taken care of. Now I will say, don't notch here, cut the whole length back, because it's blocked in by this corner bracket, so you're not going to see it either way. But if for some reason you needed to move your end stop a little bit, you kind of want to give yourself a little bit of room. That way you don't have to take off the side panel, recut this out, or try to cut it like this. You might nick a wire. You don't want to do anything like that. So give yourself a little bit of space, and you'll thank yourself later. So let's do this cut, get this in. We're doing good. And there's a little nick in the front you need to take out, so make sure you do that one too. Now we're right there. Got the other side done. Let's roll on to the back. So judgment on the cable management, it's totally not my thing for this, but everything should work just fine. So I just have these all bundled up. I have my new heated bed. This is the old one from the PCB heated bed. This is from my silicone heat pad, which I'll have a video on that later. So in order to enclose this, we've got to do two things here. Make sure there's nothing in the way, which I'm going to check first. And both here and here we're going to need to notch on our big panel, which I already have cut here. And this should fit in without a problem going through there. So we're just going to make the 2 notches in the corners. That'll be done. And then here I have the back piece, which again, we're just going to slide in here right through the top. And that should close up the back side of this. And then all we need to do is worry about the front. Let's get to it. And there's the back installed. So the hatch here, I actually leave open personally. It's back against a wall. Nothing's going to go in front of it. I do need to modify it because I am not a fan of how it is currently. I don't like that there's no extra exhaust port over here by the MKS board. So again, I leave mine off. That's completely up to you if you do or do not. I recommend that you do keep it on, especially if you have small children around. But the way that mine is oriented, I don't need to worry about that. And I just want max airflow going into this. So again, you should have this installed, but I plan on getting some type of vent installed here to help out with the enclosure on. Card ran out of space. Okay, back to what I was saying about this. So the sides I'm going to keep on all the time. The top is going to be removable, the front's removable, and this front panel is going to be removable. I'm not necessarily sure how I'm going to go about all of that yet, but I'm at least going to show you how to cut these pieces to size and how to cut this front to size and get a nice window in there. And the top, again, is going to be one solid piece. I'm going to be able to just pretty much lay it up there. I think I might do something with magnets, and it'll be able to could be removable, which would be great, so you don't have to worry about it being up there, or I'll just be able to slide in. So let's do some measurements, and we'll get to it. Okay, so we've got a brand new piece of foam board here, and now we need to make our measurements. Measuring the front from the outside 2020 to the outside of the other side 2020 extrusion, is 540 millimeters. So at first we're going to go ahead and section off 540 millimeters down the one side. So we know that it's too narrow if we hold the board this way. So we're going to have to go this way now and make our marks. Now in order to do this, if you're not familiar with, I wouldn't call this CAD drawing, but it's simple enough. You need to make 2 marks. So 540 at the top of your sheet, whatever it is you're working on, and here at the bottom, or just further down the page, another 540 mark. And we're going to go ahead and draw a line so that we know what our actual workspace is going to be. Okay, so now this is how wide the printer is from outside 2020 to outside 2020. Now we need to measure from the top of the 2020 to the bottom of the middle bracket, we'll call it, which is the middle 2020 piece of lumen extrusion. That from there to there is 198 millimeters. So we're going to go ahead and measure that out and mark it. So again here, putting your ruler at the top, we're staying on this side, this is our work side, come down to 198 on that side, come over here, chair's in the way of course, and I'm working on a full desk, and we're going to do 198 here. Where's that at? Right there. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and make our next line across with using those 2 marks as our guide. Again, this is a super cheap 1 meter, actually it's 40 inches, so it's 110 millimeters, and I bought this at Harbor Freight. Cost me, I don't know, $2. So it was a nice cheap purchase. So okay, so this up here, I hope you can see that, the lines are light, I know. So this right here, this is our working space, which is the top section of the FT-5 in the front. Now we have to cut out these corners to match where the melamine corner brackets are, because we want this to fit in there just perfectly so that we get a nice snug fit. We might be able to just slap this in there and let it go. We won't need to worry about it, but we will cut a window in here eventually. But we're just going to get the outside done first. So now we have the actual size we're looking at. So now we're going to go to the FT-5, take a measurement, come back here, and we'll look at what these are supposed to be. Okay, so if you measure your corners, they are 100 millimeters. That's how deep in each of the corner bracket goes, including the T bracket down here. So I've got my little ruler here. We'll set this for 110. Make our mark at 10 here, and we'll make another mark here, set to 110, make a mark at 10. I do that because you usually don't want to use the end of your ruler. I mean, if you're using it on a flat corner part, that's fine, but Most people will say you shouldn't really do that, and again, it's up to you how you want to do it, but that's just what I've been told a lot. So now we're going to go ahead and draw our lines here. So we're going to mark this up pretty good. We can erase it all, or we can put it in backwards because it is a symmetrical piece. We're not too worried about marking it up at all because a lot of this is going to get cut off. Okay, so now that we know how far those come in, we have to measure how far down they come. And they actually come down, they only come down 19 millimeters. So we can always shave off a little bit more if we have to, but we'll just come in here and make a mark at 19 millimeters for the top parts. Okay, so now we know that if you look, this would be kind of like what it's at. So now we have to measure from the top corner to the bottom of the melamine part for each of the top corner brackets, figure out how far down those come, and that gives us our angle. So we have 19 millimeters here. Let's see how far down we need to come on the outside edge, or how far in and then how far down, and then we'll be able to get this corner sorted out. Easy enough. Okay, so looking at it, they come down 58 millimeters, so we're going to go here from the top, and we're going to mark 58 millimeters. And it comes in, again, 19 millimeters. So okay, so right here is our corner. So this is 58 down, 19 over, and then we have our corner piece up here. So now it's quite simple of just putting your pencil on that mark, moving your roller to there. Oops, hit my finger. Draw a nice line. That is your first corner bracket. So you can just easily erase these extras here. And now we know, in order to know that we have to cut this out, you put a couple X's here so you know where you need to cut. This is more of a, I guess, woodworking. When you cut a piece of wood, you want to make sure that you put your blade on the other side so that you're not cutting into where you cut to give yourself an exact measurement, which is something I was always taught by my dad. So again, now we know what side we need to cut on. So that is our corner bracket for this side. We're going to rinse and repeat for this side, and we'll come back after I make those measurements. And there we have the other corner blocked out. So now let's go down and do these where the T brackets come in, which the measurements should be very similar to these, but we'll just double check. And this is very easy to check. We're measuring from the bottom of the melamine piece to the top of the melamine piece, which gives us this corner here. Same over here. And then all we have to do is come over to the end, measure how far up we have to go, draw our line across, and there it is. Okay, after doing our measurement, we now know that the top and bottom melamine pieces are 80 millimeters apart from each other. So we're going to mark this at 90 here, we'll mark this at 10 here. We'll do another one right here. Make sure that's nice and straight. Okay. And we draw our line like that. Okay, so now we have that side, and we also know how far over this one comes, which is again 19 millimeters. So we go on this line, just set it at 20, mark it at the 1. So that's how far over that piece comes. From the bottom up, it is again 19 millimeters, which is very easy to measure. And now all we have to do is connect the two points. Whoops, my line was off a little bit there. Okay. There's that corner bracket. Now to this one over here, and we're almost done. Hello, hello. There we have our piece. So we're gonna think about this. So how big do we want to make a window? That's really up to you. You can make it as big as you want. You already have these 100 millimeter lines here. You can basically just measure down as much as you want. I would say leave a good, let me see what looks decent. I I guess at least 15 millimeters, or you could go 58 and it would be inside the brackets and you have a nice thick area around all of it. So if we just come up 58 on each side, let's see what that would look like here. It might not be a very big window. So it's here to here. It's not a bad window, and it gives you about 35 for support on here. Not too bad, so I think that's actually what I'm going to do mine at. Again, you can do yours at whatever size you wish. It is your printer to do with. I am just doing this so that you can kind of see what about it would be. So put that aside, get out our big stick, and draw our lines. Again, we don't need a huge window in here. We just need something that's enough so that we can see what is actually going on inside our printer and make sure that it's going okay. And this is just so you can see through the top. Then we'll have a bottom piece, not this piece obviously, but we'll have a bottom piece with a much larger window, so if you have a large print, you can see a good portion of it. So here this is. All we need to do is get our X-Acto knife out, cut this out, and let's see how it fits. Okay, and here we have it fit in. It was a little bit of a tight fit. It did bend just a smidge here, but I just cut along here and along here to get a nice fit. But it's a press fit, which is great. So we just slide in one side here first, press fit this side in, and there it is. So one thing I might change though is I might cut this down another 10 millimeters just so the bottom sheet has a little bit of something to grab onto. But either way, I mean, I think this is fantastic. Put a little piece of 1/8 or 1/16 plexiglass behind this, just come over about 1/2 inch all the way around, bit of hot glue, and you have that sealed in. You have a nice little window. You can see what your printer's doing. So far, we're doing great. So now that I'm looking at this, I might do a press fit for the main door here as well. Again, I don't need it on there that often. It's not like it's coming on and off. It's just when I'm printing ABS. I personally do not print ABS that often. So it's not really a big issue to me, and getting a nice press fit in here would work out well. And again, same with this one. So once we put the little piece of acrylic behind it, it'll be a nice rigid piece. You could go ahead and cut one solid piece of acrylic to just cover this whole thing, hold it with magnets, something like that. That is purely your prerogative. But I'm just doing this, again, just so you can see what it's like to fully enclose this for a pretty cheap amount. Again, we only paid $25 for all of this. You cannot get acrylic that cheap. I tell you that right now. And also, this is a much better insulator than acrylic. That's another thing that you need to kind of realize, is that this will keep in heat much better than acrylic will. So you can't see on top, but I did fit a sheet in here, which was 470 millimeters by 500. So 500 across here, 470. That way I was able to push it into the back of the extrusion, pull it forward a little bit, and it's in there fairly tight. It wiggles a little bit. There's a little bit of space on each side, but again, it's not going to be completely sealed shut anyways, because there's little bit air gaps here and there. It doesn't need to be. It just needs to be able to keep most of the heat inside, so we don't get any layer shifting, or I shouldn't layer shifting, any layer separation on our ABS prints. Okay, so here we are on the last part. We just have to get this front door / window completed here. So I've decided I'm going to do a press fit again, just like we did here for the top. But I'm not going to cut this down simply because my board isn't big enough. As I said, these are 20 by 30, which is just around 500 and change millimeters. And as you can see here, it does not go from the outside 2020 to the outside 2020. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to spin it, and if we line it up just with the top of that, we're just going to be able to come down about a third of the way on the bottom 2020 extrusion. So that will be enough to enclose it. It will be a little bit of a gap at the bottom, but it actually won't be a gap to the inside of the chamber. It will be a gap down here at the bottom. So we know that's going to be an issue. That's fine. So we're going to end up doing it just like so here. We need to cut out the corners, and then we have to cut out for the LCD panel here. And then that again would be a nice press fit. This should be really easy to measure out if we're just starting our corner right here. Measure over, see how far things are going. We already know some of the measurements. We know this is 100 millimeters. We know these are 19 millimeters wide on each of the corners. This will be a new measurement for us, and then we just have to measure from here down so we know where to start our next cut. Go down however long this is. Actually never did measure this one because we didn't need it to worry about it up here too much. Yes, this was 58 millimeters. That's what it was. These are 58 millimeters. So measure down here, go down 58 millimeters. That's going to be as far down as the bottom as we can go. But again, this won't go that entire route. But hey, we'll get it pretty close. So my goal here is to be able to view most of the print while it's in here. The FT-5 has a 12-inch bed, so a 12-inch window makes sense, right? A 12-inch cube window also makes good sense because you can still see down into it. I mean, you're only going to lose a wee little bit of view, which is not bad. I mean, we're not having this so we can sit here and watch it the entire time, because if I'm making a print that big, I'm obviously not sitting here because it's going to take a long freaking time to do these prints. So I think a 12 by 12 window will be perfect. I'm going to order a 13 by 13 inch piece of acrylic for that window, so that gives us ½ inch on all the sides for the super glue. Up here, I did the measurements and it ends up being 14 3/4 by 4 3/4 size piece of plexi is what I need for that. These are both going to be 1/16 inch thick. Again, super glue around it, slap it on there to give it a nice seal. It'll be lightweight, it'll add rigidity to this foam board, even though it's already pretty solid, but that's alright. So I'm going to go ahead now and we're going to do the filming of cutting this out, trying to show you. Again, it's more of you can cut things the way you want to cut them. That's not the point. The point is just to show you the process if you've never done this before. There's a lot of people out there, 3D printing is new to them. Drawing, technical drawing, we'll call this, precise measurements as much as you can. Again, here I had a gap, and actually this is the only one real gap here. I kind of screwed up that cut. But anyways, I'm going through the process to show you guys how to do this, but you need to do the measurements yourself. Don't use mine. Measure yourself, measure twice, cut once. Let's get to it. Let's get this final piece cut. Let's put it on here. Fits. Perfect press fitting. So again, you don't have to do it this way, but you can. I might end up developing some type of little clips that go here on the side, just to kind of hold it in, just to be sure it doesn't fall off. But it's in there sturdy enough. It'll be a little more weighted once the piece of acrylic is in there. But I mean, from here I could see pretty much the entire back. I can see where it's at right now, and I'm about 20-30 millimeters lower, and we can actually light it up. And all lit up, you can see in there quite well. I like it. So if you guys want to do a project like this, there's going to be links all down below for what I bought. It's all using my Amazon affiliate link, so if you buy using that, I greatly appreciate it. The channel will benefit from it. This foam board was actually bought with my last Amazon gift card that I got from my affiliate program with them, which is fantastic. It's great. I can pour content back into the channel, make videos like this. You guys are the only ones that can make this happen, and I appreciate everyone that's already helped, and if you're going to help in the future, I appreciate your help too. So last thing I need to do again is add the acrylic here. I sadly don't have any. This was kind of, this foam board came in. I wanted to get this video done quickly. Not so quickly, but I wanted to get it done sooner rather than later. And I'm going to order the acrylic. I have a quote out right now waiting to come back from a company to order the acrylic from. I'll put links down to places that I normally buy acrylic from, and you feel free to pick from any one of them. But they're going to cut this piece to size for me just so it's a nice clean cut. And this is just a 13-inch square piece that they have in stock, which is again not a huge deal. But again, it's 1/16 inch thick, so it's enough to help insulate, but it's thin enough not to put too much weight on it. I use foam board for its insulation properties and purely for its weight. You also notice I'm still using the melamine brackets. I was debating on using the acrylic brackets, but the benefit really isn't there. These melamine brackets are strong enough if you install them properly. So, but that's a totally different topic there. We're doing this for the enclosure. I will be doing testing on this. I'll probably do, once I get the acrylic in, I'll get it installed. I'll show you in one of my vlogs what the temperature readings look like in this. Right now, alone, it's going to be so much warmer in there for ABS prints. You'll still get a breeze, but it'll be much warmer. Or, if you don't want windows, you don't have to do any of that. You could just make these solid pieces, close it up, and go. You can install, I have a new camera here I just got, so this is what a Logitech 920 or something like that. You can install this inside and be able to view it while it's printing through Octoprint or AstroPrint, whatever it is that you like to use. Or if you use some other crazy program out there, you can do that. So you don't have to have windows in this. I just like windows. It's like having windows in the oven. You like to watch stuff bake, you like to watch stuff print. Personal preference. But again, you can always install this inside, and that's all you really need, or just install people here so you keep the camera out. I can even, heck, just do it like that, and that's done. You know, just cut out a piece big enough for that to fit. You're not going to lose that much air through there from the heat, so it's not a big deal. But again, it's whatever you want to do with the printer. It's yours. I'm just giving you kind of a quick, easy, and cheap way to install paneling in this printer. So if you guys like the video, please give it a like. I appreciate all the comments you guys give me. I'm looking for comments on this. If you have anything I could improve or do differently, please let me know. I know I didn't do everything perfectly right the first time, but you live and you learn. You can subscribe to my channel down below with the little subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. You'll get an email anytime I upload content. If you want to help support the channel, you can use affiliate links. That'll be down below for these products that I've purchased out of my own money, aside from this, which again, you guys helped me out with. I appreciate it. Continue that, and I'll be able to buy more items for the channel. Maker Geek's link down there below if you want to pick up some filament. And you can help me out via Patreon. Donating $1 or more, I greatly appreciate it. To my current Patreons, thank you very much for your support and assistance. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy printing.